happen any moment. That's a case out of New Jersey. So while we are waiting for that, let's head back to Atlanta, Georgia for the racketeering trial against Jeffrey Williams, also known as Young Thug. And if you're new to the case, let me just give the rap sheet on the rapper here. He, along with 5 co-defendants, charged with a slew of gang-related crimes connected to alleged street gang YSL, short for Young Slime Life. The crimes range from drug distribution to firearm possession, to armed robbery, to murder. On the other side, the defense says that YSL is really just their record label, Young Stoner Life, with themes surrounding tough life circumstances. Now, Friday marks the 3rd motion hearing this week. Jury's not there. Remember, they'll be back next week. All has to do with the issues surrounding some of these events from back in 2015. Remember, we're on the 3rd judge. This is Paige Whitaker. She has been tasked with tackling all these outstanding matters left behind by former presiding judge Earl Glanville. He was recused last month. All kinds of matters, including mistrial motions, some denied by the judge. Several other mistrial motions are still pending. Also, a motion to disqualify the prosecution, Adrian Love and Simone Hilton. All of that still to be decided. The parties were off yesterday. Court transcripts have been gathered of some prior testimony in order to argue what is admissible, what needs to be redacted. So that continues. Remember, star witness Kenneth Lil Woody Copeland was on the stand when the trial was last in session, and he is certainly at the core of that June 10th ex parte hearing that started this whole mess. Copeland's testimony surrounding the death of YSL gang rival Donovan Thomas is also in question, and the testimony related to that, what's going to come in, what is not. Let's go back to court to see these latest arguments surrounding the 2015 shooting of Lil Wayne's tour bus, allegedly orchestrated by YSL.
12/16/45. And this will probably be somewhere around page 222, maybe around line 1.
He not taking no shit. He not taking no shit from nobody. Well, nobody else care about nobody else. You know what I'm saying? The game we did, shout out to do it, we told Shan do it. Shan told my smile, he was up that Wayne.
Give me the word.
Yep. And so no, say some the GD, I can't Nilson Hurst, something like that. He ain't the beef. You know what I'm saying? He shot. I mean, I ain't here to play. You know what I mean? I just don't want to go to jail. I mean.
And we're going to stop it at 12/17.
All right, if y'all want me to figure out what got said, then I'm going to have that tape. I'm going to have to slow it down. I have no idea what he said. I mean, I know a lot of it, but the little part that y'all don't know either, I'd have to listen to it a couple of times. So, I don't know.
You want to play it back?
Yeah.
Slow it down?
Yeah. Not the whole thing, just that part that is kind of hard to, like, line 19, the game fixing to get their ass shot up as a thing. But after that is what the... Before you hit play, is the sound coming out of that little white speaker? Is there any way I could get any kind of a speaker closer to me? I mean, is that where that's coming from?
I can't, Nilson Hurst, something like that. He ain't the beef.
It may not move far, in which case.
Speakers don't help that much. You can try. You don't help it.
It's not going to do much, so just put it back where it was. What I hear them saying is the game fixing to get his ass shot up. Told Shannon to do it.
And I think it's the next.
Okay.
Might be. That's the most concerned.
Give me the word.
Yep. And do it to no. Say some and do it. The game big is shout out to do it told Shannon do it. Shannon told my smile you saw that winning.
Just give me the word.
Yep.
Shannon, nobody's something
The
like
game big is shout out to do it.
if Doug would have told Shannon to do it.
How did the beef with Gang then?
The game big is shout out to do it told Shannon do it. Shannon told my smile you saw that winning.
Just give me the word.
Yep.
I hear
A theory?
Shannon told me out of his mouth.
Okay, well, I assume that matters. So
Doesn't matter.
I will listen to that in my chambers where I can actually hear it a little better. So we'll have to revisit that as well, but go ahead.
I'm not trying to beat a dead horse here. I think that when it comes down to it, my objection is that, first of all, anything involving the gang is not charged, is not in the indictment at all. So it is extrinsic in my estimation. I don't know how this fits into the story or is needed to complete the story. In addition, it is bad character evidence about my client. It's a prior, if it's extrinsic, it's a prior bad act as alleged. And also, I'm not hearing the told me out my own mouth, so there's speculation involved as well, or, I don't know what the source of his knowledge is, but he's not saying that he was with Shannon waiting on the game. So there's that issue as well.
Okay, so with regard to that issue, they probably are not doing police questioning thinking I need to establish exactly who everybody. It may be that through this we don't know, and if it comes in, you may just have to ask and maybe establish, or maybe beforehand, what was the source of your knowledge when we have Mr. Copeland and not the jury, and we can find out, is it total rank hearsay or is it not? I don't know.
As long as we're allowed to do it outside the presence of the jury.
Okay, and then with it being a prior bad act, there is no act here, so it can't be a prior bad act.
Well, the act is
Being willing to do what Doug says.
Mr. Stillwell is, according to Mr. Copeland, is waiting, I don't know where, waiting somewhere to shoot another individual. That's an act.
I'm not sure it's a crime to be willing to do it if you don't do it, unless.
I'm saying waiting, not. I heard waiting, like he was in. I don't know. I'm just making this up. I'm speculating, but an alleyway or something. I hear he was waiting.
Okay, I don't think that's what it said, but I'll re-listen to it. Okay, let's move on to the next one.
The next one, to agree with, based on, of course, prior ruling, from the deck, page 231, line 5 through 233, line 22.
I think it should start at 230, line 20.
Okay, let's jump in here and talk about some of this proposed evidence and what the jury might do with it. You hear the judge having issues understanding what's being said in that interrogation room. They're fighting over the transcript and what's going to be in and what's going to be out. What do you think the jury's going to do with that? And by the way, I'm keeping an eye on that courtroom in New Jersey for the Christopher Gregor sentencing. He, of course, convicted of aggravated murder in the death of his 6-year-old son, Corey. Katherine Lizardo is still here. Eric Faddis is here. Eric, you get my point about some of the nuances of this evidence. I'm not even talking about whether it comes in or not. What's the jury going to do with it? The judge can't even figure out what's being said.
Difficult to understand, difficult to wrap one's head around. And also, this hearing should have been done pre-trial. This should have taken place a long time ago. This is one reason there are so many ongoing delays in this case. In my opinion, it's a complete travesty. This thing has been going on since January 2023, including jury selection. We're a year and a half in, and we're still doing these like evidentiary admissibility hearings. These are often handled pre-trial. I'm just surprised that we're at this place. I'm hoping the new judge really ratchets things down and gets some movement for everybody involved here.
You know, we expect, Katherine, to have actual full court days. Jury is supposed to be back on Monday, and the judge, I think, said 8:45 to 6, something like that. But hopefully it's going to be putting on evidence and not dealing, as Eric suggests, with some of these things that should have been done maybe some time ago.
That's what we would expect. But right now, based on what we just saw and heard, I'm highly doubtful that that would happen because the judge has put on the table some of the motion to be discussed later on. And today's Friday, so that's going to be sometime next week when the jury was supposed to be back. I like how the new judge is having a schedule of 8 to 5, I believe is what you said. So that's really going to be a long day for the jury, but it has to be a productive day, not like before where the jury are asked to leave so that they can do all of these motions and hearing that, as Eric mentioned, should have been pre-trial hearings.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens next week when all the players, including the jury members, are in there. We'll see if the judge is able to stick to a pretty aggressive schedule without some of these collateral issues popping up. Again, keeping an eye on the courtroom there in New Jersey. When the Gregor sentencing takes place, we will jump in. It's a lovely eagle mounted on top of a flag. When that changes to a broader courtroom scene, we'll know something's up. Let's take a break, come back right after this.